Peggy 18.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of Orcs Must Die 3 here on Not Your Professional Walkthroughs channel with me, your host Max. Okay, so on this episode we will be taking a look at the slot shelves and afterwards at another war scenario. Now you are able to see that I already performed these missions and was able to achieve certain score, and well, these are some really difficult ones, especially the war scenario, but we're gonna see if I will be able to perform a bit better, see what can be done. I did invest a couple of points into some research. I even got the arcane staff as a new primary weapon, and we're gonna see how that's gonna work out. Now I was also able to unlock the auto ballistas, but so far I'm not really that thrilled with them. They have really slow reload, so I'm not really sure how this is gonna work out with them. Maybe we're gonna have to switch to some other weapon, but let's get to it and let's not keep you waiting and let's have some fun with this. So the first thing about this,
alone again while I return to the archives. We're missing something important.
Your sense of humor?
No, she said important.
I'm so pleased you two are bonding. Fight well. I will see you again at the end.
is that we have 3 points of entry. This is the first one. It is the closest one to our targeted destination. So we're gonna have to make sure that this section is barricaded off, which is gonna spend a majority of our budget initially. And then we have these 2 points of entry. Usually they start off from this point and then they go from this point, merging together on here as they charge up the stairs. And what might happen is that the units get stuck right over at this point, because the point where they are trying to reach is like right above them. So that might help us, but let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. I'm gonna be using primarily the arcane staff, and I don't understand why I cannot remove the bow. It's kind of annoying in that way. I would really prefer to have just one primary weapon and not have to have 2 of them, but the arcane staff seems to be doing damage. I'm gonna have to redo this because I do not get a respawn on those barrels.
I must leave you two alone again while I return to the archives. We're missing something important.
Your sense of humor?
No, she said important.
I'm so pleased you two are bonding.
So this is
Fight
unfortunate,
well. I will see you again at the end.
but at least you know you are at Not Your Professional Walkthroughs. We're gonna try to cram as much stuff as we can over here, and of course the haymakers and all the other traps are gonna be implemented, but I need to keep the barricade over here because this is not that long of a walk for the enemies to make. And considering the fact that we have all sorts of creepy crawlies coming our way, I need to include physical damage, lightning damage, and all sorts of other damage. But the important thing to note is that the arcane staff does definitely more damage to these higher ranked units. Now with the hunters, I did not notice that much of a change. But for example, if I keep landing headshots, I do realize that I'm landing a whole lot more damage. And the secondary attack of the arcane staff is that range, or like the surrounding area around you, just gets totally pummeled by these massive bolts. So we obviously see that this will not hold them off for too long. But now they're gonna change the direction from which they are coming. So we're gonna have to redirect our temporary attention, but later on, once we will know that there are multiple waves that can come in through, I'm gonna have to still stand up there and try to protect what I can. So what I like to do here is put down at least like 2 of these, and then what I do is rely on the flip platforms. The advantage of that is, of course, in the fact that they are gonna toss them back over there. And what we might theoretically consider doing is also putting the flipped platforms over here so that they would be tossed not just on top of the weird pipe over there, but theoretically down there, and so they would take additional physical damage if those wall springs or traps would activate themselves. So we're gonna see how this is gonna work out. We're gonna see a large variety of units. We do already see that a hunter is somewhere in the mix. So we're gonna try to make sure that he gets taken out. The arcane damage doesn't seem to hurt him as badly as I would like them to, but the bigger units like the ogres and trolls, or even hell the heavy orcs, they do seem to take additional damage from the weapon. So this is why I like to use it. So far they did not manage to get too close. We are just redirecting the flow of the enemy. We can see already that the trolls are coming in, so we're gonna have to try and put down additional traps or additional flip traps.
Is that it?
And as you can see, it takes like 3 shots for me to take down the ogre, while if I would have to utilize the bow, it would definitely be much more difficult.
Let her rip.
So we're gonna put down more of these platforms over here.
That's the stuff.
Let's sell that one. And what I want to do is put down one more over here. And then what I like to do is also, when we are gonna be up there, is put down the archers. They are still extremely useful. And I like to put them like over here along this railing. And that way they can provide the necessary support. So we're gonna launch the wave. And most likely they're gonna start off from this point. Now we have to be careful because the orc archers can come in as well. And of course we know that they can shoot at this range, so I cannot just be stationary target for them. The hunter is kind of being slowed down by the traps.
Enemies are attacking on another
It seems
front.
like we are getting the
Look out!
explosive
Our
skull
defenses
balls.
have been breached
So if we
again.
manage to successfully
come.
attack them and damage them, they blow up within the enemy ranks, and yeah, the little buggers here are starting to pop in, so I need to be careful. So the bolts from the arcane staff are really deadly, but they are like a small projectile, so the area at which they interact with the body of the enemy unit, it's changed, so you will have to make sure to land successful and accurate shots in order to do the damage that you are hoping to do. But as you can see, we were able to totally defeat them, and because now they're gonna be coming in from the other way, I need to install some haymakers up here in order to slow down the progress of the enemy units as much as we can.
I hope that works.
Because yeah, the traps currently installed, they would not simply be enough. And considering that they don't have that much of a long walk in order to achieve the targeted area, we need to be really careful here. So unfortunately, the secondary attack is not the most accurate on the arcane staff, but it still does a whole lot of damage. As you can see, the ogres are falling down rather fast. And what might happen is that if you barricade off that section, the funniest thing is that theoretically it might confuse the enemy and they might try to go downstairs in order to gain access to the portal, or what you call that thing, because yeah, because they want to. And if you feel annoyed by having to go downstairs in order to unstuck the enemy units, you can install like the spike floor trap on the bottom floor there. And this way, what you will ensure is that if the units are gonna be here, the trap will just keep on springing on top of them and or from below, and they will just die from the damage which they will be constantly taking. We're gonna flip this. We are gonna put this over there. Unfortunately, this is too damn far. There seems to be a heavy orc which got tossed. We're gonna run back up because, of course, again, we have more units approaching from said direction. Install 2 haymakers. We are gonna try to install 1 more of you. We're gonna pick up that mana because we are gonna need it. And we're gonna try to make this tiny hallway the deadliest location ever. So notice the difference in how much damage am I dealing to even the armed ogre in comparison to what would I be dealing to it if I would be using the bow. So like a normal weapon at the start, it's definitely nice, but I don't know how I would feel about like the melee options and such. I'd probably be a bit more skeptical. What we can still do, however, here is install these traps because they will be tossed into the pit of acid. At least I think it's acid. It kills anything which lands in there, including us, so that's why I'm making the assumption. I might be incorrect though, so let me know what you think it is. Just don't drink it. I don't think it's the new flavor from Mountain Dew. That would be probably too damn bad. Okay, able to install another one. And as you can see, just as I said, they are stuck here. We're gonna try to motivate them to move from said location. That has helped a lot. And the advice which I would probably give when it comes to this is, if you know that the waves are coming in from all of the directions, don't monitor the lower floor. Stick with this section over here because after all, this is the shortest distance which they need to travel. And if you are trying to defend whatever is happening downstairs, if they then start popping in from here, if you did not install the barricade and you have, for example, just a couple of archers to do the job, they might not be able to support you as much as you might need. So I definitely suggest for this mission specifically to stay in here and try to hold off any of the incoming attacks. And once you are done with that, go nuts. But your primary focus is to try and defend this really narrow passage over here. I'm gonna try to make sure that they do not trigger all the flip traps, so that they fly off into the acid instead. Even the haymaker can achieve to successfully do that. Okay, kobolds with bombs. Now, these things are explosive resistance. This guy can just hop over the barricade like it's no issue for him. Guess he does CrossFit or something, who knows. As you are able to see, thanks to the archers as well and the haymakers and the arcane staff, we are able to do some really devastating damage to the enemy forces. Now, they might not get tossed always where we want them to be, but that is what we have to do. So this is a troll, and with like 3 to 4 shots I was able to successfully do what I had to do. Now Ogre finally noticed me. 3 headshots and he is goner. And he doesn't even care that like something might be happening up here or whatever. So we are gonna go ahead and install more lasers and
More enemies on the way!
just because this is really short distance, so I want to make this as painful for the enemy units as possible.
Should be good.
I really hate the fact that I still need to have the bow equipped. This should be definitely allowed to be changed. If you do an endless mode, which this game of course contains, you are able to eliminate the primary weapon of your character. So like the bow is removed, but yeah, if you play the campaign scenario or whatever,
Attacking a barricade.
it's definitely gonna be still here. Okay, we're gonna install more archers. They are a little confused thanks to the barricade
Is
itself.
under attack. They've destroyed the
They have
barricade.
destroyed the barricade, which is not good for me. Considering that they are right at the staircase, it's kind of impossible for me to then... Damn it, to freaking hell. I have to block this goddamn thing.
I could do better.
They're attacking a barricade. More enemies in the rift.
Better. Almost out of gas here.
This did get a little bit screwed up. I was able to make this run without losing a single health. So it depends from each run for me, obviously. Try to use the platform there. Maybe it's gonna be able to toss multiple targets into the pit of acid there. Let's see if it's gonna spring, and even the ogres are falling into the acid pit.
Did I really do that?
They are really struggling with this. Okay, we're gonna go and
That'll work.
just install more of the archers.
More enemies on the way.
Walk up here, defend this position. Trying to hit the hunter. Trying to hit the ogres. If I get close enough, utilizing the secondary attack to deal as much damage as possible. Now the archers are gonna get involved soon as well.
And stay down.
This one barricade seems to be really damaged, so we need to be careful with it. I think there are hunters coming in. Yeah, they seem to be a bit more resilient versus the arcane damage there. That's no trouble for us. Should be able, with proper aiming, to target them and do the necessary damage. Really mad that I did lose that 1 point. These things are a bit more susceptible to the lightning damage, so maybe installing a couple more lasers and such down would be beneficial, but this is the last wave, so not that much more opportunity to do just that. The war scenario, that's what I'm afraid of. That is where the struggle lies. Trying to fire at the little fireballs. Yeah, they're retreating, totally confused. Not that I'm complaining. It's allowing me to keep tossing them into the acid pit. It's definitely a confusion in the AI's programming.
Anyone else?
It's unfortunate that I did not manage to achieve that perfect score as some of them got through. But totally doable. I still don't know how I feel about these ballistas. Man, it's difficult to tell you the truth. Okay, and now the war scenario. So this one is extremely difficult. I have not managed to yet even kill the big baddie in this one. So here's the thing. We now have a scenario which looks like Lord of the Rings 2 Towers, where we have defenders upon the walls, and the enemies are coming from the outside. However, later on, there are these tunnels which have been dug into our keep or castle, so they're going to be coming from the underground, and that's where these two additional ones come into play. So really difficult to manage this like really properly. I haven't been able to execute a perfect run of this thing as of yet. I do rely upon the archers quite a lot. I did try like the knights to see if maybe they can do something, but I haven't had that much luck with them as of yet. So the archers are definitely helping a lot, but we are gonna see how this is gonna play out. Again, one of the additional equipment tiles is filled in with the arcane staff, which totally
Aw,
annoying.
You scared, genius?
You know what? I'm not. We got the War Machine spells, and we're a great team.
Who would have guessed? But yeah, we really are.
So right, this is our castle. This is the balcony where we can install a bunch of archers. What I have found out is that after I install the barricades over here, and we need to utilize 4 of them, I can put down a bank of archers down here, and they are usually not attacked by the enemy units that much, and they are able to keep a great support fire upon the enemy positions. I have been considering what would happen if instead of on top of the balcony, we would just install the archers against the wall. But I cannot go totally crazy with the archers, because what I need to save up mana for is to block off these sections in order to redirect the flow of the enemy. Because right now we are blocking off the gate, we are blocking off this closer location. Here we're gonna have to install flip platforms, and then I'm forced to put down barricade over here. And this is really buggy because half of this is like the floor, and half of this is dirt. So if you go like this, it will work. If you try to go like this, it will not work, and especially when the waves are coming in, you might struggle tremendously there. So yeah, I'm not really sure which is better as of yet. I haven't had too much choice or chance to try it out by myself. So we're gonna put down 1 additional bank of archers there. I'm not really sure if they just won't be massacred completely, but we're gonna put down the additional 2 banks of archers up here, and well, wish me luck. Wish me luck, because I am going to need that luck. And the weirdest thing is that these ballistas, they need to have a roof such as this, so you can install it like your haymaker, like your laser. You can have a stupid quantity of them installed one by another, but because of the slow speed at which they keep firing, not a huge fan. Not a huge fan. So I'm not really sure what to tell you here. So let's go start it off, and let's see if we will be able to defeat the incoming waves. And I do wonder how the archers down below are gonna hold up against the never-ending onslaught of the enemy units. Now we still have the upgrade where they keep firing the 2 volleys of arrows, and as you can see, the sky is just filled with arrows, which is really advantageous. Who knows, maybe by positioning them down there, we're gonna be able to be a bit more accurate. I don't know if the tougher units are gonna just try to come in and attack us, but you can see that they are obviously like ignoring the bank of archers there, but the barricade is sustaining damage. What I'm gonna try to do here,
The barricade is down.
place the barricade, keep on dealing damage, try not to get myself killed like a total dumbass. Things happen. Things, wrong way. Wrong way. It's a massive place. Okay, so I'm gonna try to barricade off this portion, and they're gonna soon break through. So, lasers.
They've broken through a gate.
And here we have to be careful with the hunters, because if they kill us, of course what's gonna happen is they're just gonna run for the portal, so we need to be mindful of that. There's a couple more barricades which I want to install in order to prolong the torture of the hordes. But as you can see, really difficult here. Don't know how the bank of the archers did down there. Behind me is where I want to install some additional barricades, because that way I force the enemy units to actually go through here, and that way I can install haymakers and other things which will deal a ton of damage to the enemy horde. So like the first two waves I think is guaranteed to come from outside, so the archers do their job really well in reducing the enemy count and dealing damage. And as you can see, the arcane staff definitely helping out a lot in sorts of dealing with the ogres. You just need to really make sure that you are not hitting the neck fat of the ogre, but you're actually landing a successful headshot. And if I'm like here, I can totally hold them off. We have earned some mana points. We're gonna have to fix this. Okay, so we have... what do we have? We need to block off this.
That works.
Which theoretically means one more bank of archers.
The orcs will feel our
Possibility.
bones are yours.
Problem is gonna be when they're gonna be coming from the inside. That is why it's important for me to block off this, because when the enemies are gonna eventually come from this section where we can install flip platforms to try and toss them into the magma, but when they are gonna be coming from here, we need to redirect them. So if they would be immediately after breaking through the door going in this direction, they have just like a direct path over to the room which we need to protect. So that's the dealio. That's what we gotta do.
All right.
So we're gonna stand
More
up on
enemies on
the
the
wall
way.
again. We're gonna start firing the arcane shots. Missing tremendously a lot, but with the added archers here, they're really destructive. Like, I have tried to replay the first war scenario, which happens on the bridge, and instead of the goddamn catapult, what I did was try and instead utilize the archers. Wow, the difference was night and day. I mean, I swear to God when I tell you that like one kobold was only able to reach just the first gate. Like, they weren't even able to cross the goddamn bridge. They were getting totally annihilated. No joke. No joke. Okay, I would love to pick up this mana.
The barricade is under attack.
Trying to hit the neck fat of this big boy.
They've destroyed the barricade.
I'm low on mana.
Trying to slow down progress, trying to install a haymaker, trying to keep shooting. The funniest thing is that the secondary can even like be launched if you are below any sort of roof of any kind. So if you have this thing on top of you, doesn't matter, you can still successfully do whatever it is that you need to do. Trying to just install any sort of damage dealing thing or anything which would slow them down. Usually this bridge is completely filled with these flip platforms just because it does what it needs to do. There aren't that many locations for me to install these wall mounted traps, or like the side wall mounted traps which deal tremendous amount of damage.
Enemies at the rift.
No, how did he get
They're
through?
entering the rift.
Son of a gun. Don't want to replay this goddamn thing, but somehow one kobold must have gone through. Don't ask me how. So we are using even whatever we can inside here.
Did we win?
In order to
One for
deal
Team
damage, I'm gonna have to change this up a bit. But as you can see now, even like the doors down there are shining, so we are gonna see enemy units coming in through there as well. Now, the only advantage for you as a player is that there might be some timing in between the waves. So first you might see the enemy come in through out here, and only after that they're gonna try to get in through here. But again,
Should be good.
mission is the same, trying to
Let her rip.
slow down that approach of the enemy forces however we can.
Deadly.
Fortunately, do not have that much mana to spend here. I would love to change that, but if we really reduce the amount of the units coming in from there, it also generates a bit more mana for me temporarily. So I have to utilize that
Yeah,
boost,
I'm ready.
and then I can install additional traps. I'm
More
really pissed
enemies
off
on the
about
way.
that one kobold who got through. But it just looks like you need to keep on unlocking the new tech in order to see differences in scenarios becoming more doable. The banks of the archers is so far the most OP thing I have come across, so I'm really ecstatic that they keep performing like they are. Sure, they might allow some of the units to get closer to the gate, but I mean, considering the fact that I'm not trying to redirect any of the units from outside which are approaching the gate, then, like, I don't know what to tell you, right?
On another front.
And now they're trying to get in through the inside there. I'm gonna try to install this. And now that we know that they're gonna be coming in,
A barricade is under attack.
try to utilize this momentum. As you can see, majority of the units have been
They've
completely
destroyed the
destroyed,
barricade. They're attacking the
hope that works.
barricade.
and they're gonna be coming in through there.
Enemies
You
are
can then
preparing to
install a
breach one of
laser
our
over
gates.
here. They're gonna be grouped up there pretty nicely. Trying to save up for that laser would help, definitely. Bit more probably than the freaking ballista. Still do not have enough, huh? Yeah,
Watch
they're
out,
breaking
it's
through
broken.
soon.
Enemies have broken through again.
So now there's just a whole lot of them.
Here they come.
I'm gonna use a secondary attack here. Try to deal as much damage as we can. Try to slow them down as much as we can. Try to install as many of these platforms as we can. Honestly, I don't utilize these single archers in this scenario. I don't think this is the best scenario for them.
Did I really do that?
Considering the fact that you have access to the bank of archers, they just much more efficient. And I have seen even like the heavy ogres end up in the pit of lava here, just because of the multitude of the flip platforms there. Do you hear the hunters howling?
It's dead.
Trying to attack the bigger target there, to be perfectly honest right now. Problem here is that this bad boy is just gonna rush through here. And there's more of them. We need to make sure we have traps installed.
Yeah, looking good.
Anything which can slow down the earth elementals or whatever other units are going to be popping in for a quick visit. I'm going to have to rearrange, of course, the haymakers in here. And the biggest issue is the last location from which the enemy units are going to be coming in, because it's the shortest distance. We're going to require to barricade off a specific section once again in order to achieve redirecting the flow of the enemy. So I'm going to take a look at if we can pick up this mana, if we can fix up the barricade. Whatever we can do here in order to prolong the suffering of the orc horde. And like I said, haven't been able to succeed in killing the boss of this mission. He does come, or it does come from here, so I don't know if installing more of the archers is the right way to do this. But we now have to go to a different location, so we're gonna go to here. And we're gonna go through this small tunnel, and we're gonna have to utilize the barricade again, 4 of them, in order to redirect the flow of the enemy. We're gonna install this over here. We are gonna try to install as much punishment as we can by the entry.
I'm feeling this one.
This includes lasers. And the unfortunate thing is that, yeah, majority of these units you personally are responsible for taking out. So really unfortunate, and due to the super short range,
Our defenses have been breached again.
really difficult. Also, the enemy horde is gonna come from the outside as well. So if you don't have the archers, and if you would try to utilize like catapult or something, I just don't see it working out for you. So just keep that in mind. The archers, definitely awesome. Definitely awesome addition. As you can see, ogres and other units are going to be coming in through here. We have the fire resistance fellas. So just due to the fact that they are included in the mix, I cannot even no longer like recommend any sort of fire traps or anything which would deal fire damage, because I just do not see the added advantage of that specifically. And as you can see, they are able to keep breaking in through rather fast. So yeah, you have to make sure to make this as punishing for them as possible. Unfortunately, the reward is never as big as you would want it to be, especially if you like play the more difficult challenges. There it's even much more brutal. I don't think I would try it myself. Co-op in this game must be lots of fun though. So if you have a friend and you want to pick this game up, I'm quite sure 2 of you would be able to hold this off much more effectively versus just 1 person.
They're almost there.
As you can see, we are almost at the room. And if I don't stop off the enemy coming in, I will not be able to redirect my attention.
Hey, shouldn't have messed with me.
They're almost there.
To the other. Oh,
More
fudge.
enemies in the rift.
Freaking kobolds. I hate them. So again, trying to make this as potentially punishing as possible. You understand that I'm a bit too late here, but with the limited budget of what I keep making, the best I can do at this time. The bridge is definitely helping to slow down this, but the kobolds are just too damn fast, so usually they just trip the trap and then they just run past it. So you need to have some other measures installed in order to stop them. And also you have to keep in mind that if there's just more of them running through, they might not be able to do as much damage, or there's the cooldown as well. And so based on your choices for upgrades, which you are spoiled for because each trap has like 2 unique upgrades which you can install, then you would know.
Is that it?
Okay, so we need to take a look at what's the damage. I'd love to see more of the mana as a reward. This is the last wave that's gonna be coming in. Don't think we have anything over here, so we need to take a look at the shortest path which they need to travel. I think I'm gonna change this a bit,
This will catch him off guard.
just to make sure.
Should be good.
That we can squeeze them in properly. I'm not sure how I feel about these, so because of the goddamn kobolds, that's why. Ah, man, it's tricky with these. It is. It is.
I hope that works.
They come in through both ends, and the rest is gonna be used for trying to make this as punishing for this way, because you were able to see that they just yeah, not funny. And this is unfortunate because it does not support any traps, because it doesn't count as like actual roof tiling. You can put down lasers even up here, it doesn't matter, it will be able to reach down there. You can put down two flip traps like so, and because of the damn torches you cannot really do that much over here. So again, defending this location because it's the shortest
More
one.
enemies on the way.
Final wave, this is when the big bad boss is gonna be coming in. The archers have to do majority of the work there, and we need to stand over here because I'm not really sure at what point do the enemies start popping in from here. So we need to be ready to dish out as much damage. So far they are able to reduce the incoming waves. Zelzadore is coming in.
Sorceress, I have no idea what or who that is.
They are
is
attacking the
Zelzadore.
barricade.
Also known as the Resurrector.
Yeah, those things can resurrect any unit. Now, sometimes it happens that they resurrect like the lowest enemies, but quite a lot of times what happens is that they go for like the ogres or something like that, and they just F up the whole schedule for you.
This one.
Oh man, so we need to somehow defend this position, and we have already enemies moving in from the other front. So here the timing definitely against us.
Enemies at the rift. The barricade is under attack.
Looks like one of these is literally just hunting me. And now the problem is I don't know where to focus my attention because they are coming from both sides.
They're almost there.
This is the worst thing which can happen. It looks like we were able to
They're
finally
attacking the
kill.
barricade. More enemies in the rift.
Boss
enemies in our rift
trying to
room.
spam the mana here like crazy. Not happy, not happy. Come on, come on, trigger, 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 trigger. There we go. Maker helping me.
That's the stuff.
Whatever damage, whatever. I'll take it.
They're almost there.
Yeah, I'm well aware of that. Once like these are taken care of, I can refocus my attention on the other front. And
Enemies
they're
at the rift.
coming in way too fast, way too hot. Losing some lives here.
Now that's an orc stopper.
once again focus my attention. Not being able to successfully land those shots there.
That's how it goes.
But I'm really happy that this time at least I was able to get the archers to kill the big bad baddie. And now we have only the units coming in from this side, so...
Let her rip.
Try to make this as punishing for the enemy attackers as possible. Even flip platforms over here because there's hot lava. They should not be any more coming in from the other place. So now this is the last batch of them. Firstly, the archers are unable to help me with them, so I stand here in the meantime, keep shooting them from the profile. Have to be careful about the archers. You can see that the archers are somehow trying to hit the enemies who are like trying to get through. But this is the last orc. So it can be done. There's some strategy with this map. Once again, you have to redirect the flow of the enemy units in order to better tackle the never-ending onslaught of the orc horde. But yeah, it can be done eventually. It definitely can be done. So yeah, that's gonna be it for this one. Hopefully you did like it. For more Orcs Must Survive. For more Orcs Must Die 3, check out the playlist either at the end of the video or in the video's description. If you want to know what the channel is currently up to, consider subscribing, as I publish fun content like this on a weekly basis. I do playthroughs, guides, reviews, all sorts of cool stuff. So go check it out. Link is in the description. I'm going to wish you a pleasant rest of the day, and hopefully I will see you at the next one. Thank you for watching, everyone, and bye-bye for now.